I know. It's becoming a meme on this channel. Everyone's like, hey, all we talk about is bad news. Every video's bad news. Bad news TSM, bad news Cloud9, bad news here, bad news there. We're getting sick and tired of it, yada, yada, yada. But there just simply has been a lot of bad news recently. We've seen visa delays. We've seen teams not being able to have their full lineups for lock-in. We've seen just all these different talks going on behind the scenes, and there just hasn't been a lot of positive news recently. You know, we had the crazy offseason where all these moves happened, and that was a lot of great news for a lot of teams and players. And then we've gone through this stretch of, not so great news, especially as COVID continues to swirl around, visa issues, travel issues, lockdowns, all of this stuff. And I am going to be recording a video about good news pretty soon, probably right after I record this one. But unfortunately, in this video today, we do have a little bit more bad news to talk about because Spika actually streamed last night and dropped a little bit of bad news for TSM and TSM fans on that stream. So we're going to be going over what he said and what exactly it means for TSM and potentially the rest of the LCS as well. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. Drop a like for all that bad news. Subscribe, save today and all my latest content, and consider checking out the first link in the description below for the new merch we just dropped about a week ago. We've started selling some pieces. It's really fun. It's really exciting. I'm going to be getting some myself and showing it off for you guys, so that'll be really cool. With that being said, let's get right into this. So I know I've talked a little bit about this previously. Cloud9 has already announced that they will not be having their full lineup for the lock-in tournament, and there is issues specifically with getting their Korean players their visas. There's potentially even trouble with LS and Winsome being able to come back to the United States, which has some people confused because they're American citizens. I don't really understand all that, but for sure Summit and Berserker are going to have trouble. Summit and Berserker, neither one of them will be here for the lock-in tournament, and they may even miss a little bit of the spring split as well. So then I made a video talking about how, hey, this could definitely, mean issues for TSM as well, if TSM is even trying to come over for the lock-in tournament, because there was a world where TSM, definitely had some talks in and amongst themselves about not even coming over to the lock-in tournament at all, even if they weren't having visa issues. And some people got mad at me about that. They're like, oh, this is so speculative, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, that's just putting two and two together. Seeing Cloud9 having these issues, seeing TSM also having players from the East. Yes, China's different than Korea, and maybe Korea's a little bit more strict or whatever, but understanding there could be some problems there as well. I know I've talked about this a little bit, obviously, but we do have some official confirmation from Spika today. I'm going to scoot myself over so we can actually see Spika, and let's see what Spika has to say about the situation. What is TSM going to do? Who are they going to have for the lock-in tournament? Is he playing? Are they playing? Let's find out.
I mean, we're not going to... it looks like we're not going to have everyone here, so... I don't know what we're gonna do. Probably just like split, some academy, some LCS, I think.
And then the rest of the clip, he just like talks about how clean as Diana is or something, which I'm not going to argue with. But there you have it. Obviously, he says, they will not have the full team. Now, the rest of it, he doesn't exactly know about. He doesn't know exactly what they're going to do. And obviously, they have a couple of options. If they aren't going to be able to make it back for the lock-in tournament anyway, they could keep Huni and Tactical over in Korea or over in the East and have them continue to keep scrimming teams and continue to keep practicing and working together with Kaido and Shenyi. Yes, then Spika would miss out a ton, but a lot of the TSM players and management seem to really value their Eastern boot camp, so they could stay over there and get more time out of their Eastern boot camp. And I thought that was what the TSM team was maybe leaning towards. I think that may have potentially changed once Spika wasn't able to come with them. If Spika was over with them in the East, I am pretty confident that they would have still just stayed over there, missed the lock-in tournament, waited for everyone to get their visas, then all come back as a team. But now that the team's going to have to be split up anyway, and Spika's going to be in the United States, especially because Spika's kind of like the most important piece of this whole team. He's kind of the face of the TSM franchise. He's the defending MVP. He's all this stuff. I don't think the team wants to stay away from Spika, too long. So it is possible that just Spika plays in the lock-in tournament with 4 academy players around him. That is one option. Another option is obviously Huni and Tactical should have no problems coming back to the United States because, they've been here so long. Obviously, Tactical is just American. And then we could go with Huni, Spika, Takeover, Tactical and Ursan as the TSM team, which would be pretty interesting. You know, Takeover and Ursan are two actually really, really significant prospects that some people are very excited about and some people think are going to be very, very good. And it would be kind of cool to see them play some LCS games. Now, are they ready for the LCS just yet? You know, I don't know. There are definitely some questions about that, but still, that would be a very, very solid TSM team, and it'd be a way for Tactical, Huni, and Spika, you know, to all still get some reps in together and have a TSM team that can still do a little bit of damage in the tournament. And, I mean, you know, depending on how good you think Kaido and Shenny are, there's a world where maybe Takeover's better than Kaido. Maybe Yursan's better than, you know, Shenny. I would lean more towards Shenny probably being better than Yursan at this point in time, but it's totally possible that Takeover could potentially be better than Kaido, especially, you know, in the short term, since he's more adjusted to North America and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. So like he said, you know, Spika says he doesn't know exactly what they're going to do, but Spika is expecting some kind of combination of LCS and Academy team members, and I think that's very, very interesting. When we take a look at TSM's actual schedule, some of the good news for them is that their group is 100 Thieves, FlyQuest, Cloud9, and Golden Guardians as their four other teams that they're going to be playing up against in their group. And in these groups, you only have to finish top 4 to make it the best of 5. So, you know, TSM should pretty much have that locked up. I mean, FlyQuest, not that strong of a team. I think Golden Guardians is definitely a little bit underrated. But the good news for them is that another team in their group is having these same issues in Cloud9. You know, they are also not going to have their full roster. They are also not going to have their full entire starting lineup. So anyone that's looking for some good news, that's looking for a silver lining or whatever, TSM is not the only one in this boat, and it's actually another team directly in their group that they're going to be playing up against. Now, obviously, overall, I think this is pretty upsetting news for TSM fans, especially, you know, people like me. I want to see Kaido. I want to see Shenny. We've been hearing about them all offseason. So many haters, so many naysayers, so many doomers, and so many, you know, eternal optimists and people on Hopium and the TSM staff telling us how good these guys are. We want to see them on the Rift. We want to see them playing, and it sucks that we won't be able to potentially see this until Spring Split. And then, you know, the question is it even going to be the first week of Spring Split, or are they going to miss more time? And is this going to cause issues for them later on down the road, or is this just going to, you know, cause issues for now? Also for the LCS, we know that TSM and Cloud9 are two of the bigger teams, two of the bigger fan bases, and fans of those teams might not be as willing to tune in, especially not super, super hardcore fans of those teams. You know, the more casual audience, the more, you know, fringe fan base might not be willing to tune in to watch some Academy players play. Now, I hope that's not the case. I hope the LCS has great viewership. I hope the tournament does really, really well. I still hope it's fun and exciting. You know, two of the tournament favorites, 100 Thieves and Team Liquid, they should still be at full strength. Evil Genius is still going to have their team. This should still be a very, very fun and exciting tournament altogether. But obviously, TSM and Cloud9 are two big pieces of the LCS, and them not being at full strength is a little bit disappointing. But yeah, this is the schedule to start the tournament. TSM is actually going to be playing in the first game against 100 Thieves on January 14th, and TSM will also be playing up against FlyQuest. So like I said, you know, they don't have the craziest group in the world. They have Cloud9 with some subs. They have FlyQuest, who isn't very good. Golden Guardians, who, while I think they're underrated, you know, should be beatable for TSM, even with 2 subs, I do believe. And then 100 Thieves, who, you know, were a lot of people going to be picking TSM to beat 100 Thieves anyway, even if they had their full strength lineup. Probably not. So overall, I don't think this changes too much for TSM. I still think it is very, very possible for them to finish second place in this group and still get a ton of, you know, stage game, stage experience, and still make it to the knockout stage where they can get some very, very valuable best of 5 experience and overall get a very, very nice and good warm-up for the Spring Split, which, again, at the end of the day, the Spring Split doesn't really matter that much anyway. It's all about being strong for summer, especially when you're a team that isn't necessarily trying to compete for titles, but is more so trying to make it to Worlds like TSM is this season. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Are you worried about TSM not having their Chinese players over in the LCS, or do you think it's not going to matter? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.